Welcome back to podcast with LCTA. Happy new school year. I hope everyone has a great first day. I'm Scott Mazer, president of Leon Classroom Teachers Association. Very proud of the work that we've done over this past summer, June, July, and the beginning of August with the LCTA board of directors between Jocelyn Lewis, our vice president, Sandra Metter, our treasurer, Paula Piercy, our secretary, and all the board members. You'll be able to see a list on there between Roosevelt C., Jonathan Wilson, Brandy Faison, Shayla Lightfoot Brown, Katie Fritz, and Shari Guanter. So Jamar Akins is our at-large. We've got a position open, so if you're interested, let me know. But idea is we did a lot of great work, and I think what we've done is we've set things up to do three things at the beginning of this school year. Number one, we want to build relationships. So we want to make sure that we have an opportunity to speak to you, to listen, and to engage in what is number two. And that next thing is take a collective action. And this is a collective action to create change and for our students. And the most important thing is that those that support students need to be supported, and that's what we're here for, because once we can focus more on our students. And so that's the primary focus of what we're trying to do. So building relationships, taking a collective action. And the last one that I think is going to be just really eye-opening for a lot of us is supporting the whole teacher. We have professional development in place right now that's going to be there from early career learning labs, supporting teachers from 0 to 5 years of service, or it could be stress management, could be general knowledge tests. But we went to Summer Academy under the guidance of our executive director, Shreya Griffin, to get some PD groups started. And so we've got a group of individuals. You're going to see some documentation about who our course leaders are, and it's going to be great because, as you can see, earbuds running. I'm trying to take care of myself as well, because finding that work-life balance is not the easiest thing in the world. And in the position that we are, first day of school, when things don't go well, kind of like when everyone's dealing with this bus thing right now, there's a lot of anxiety and people feel like they want answers. And so we're not perfect. There's a lot of perfection that's expected, but we're people too. We have lives, we have families, and we need to find that work-life balance to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves so we can take care of our students. So that's going to be a big part of what we kind of focus on this year. We've got a legislative agenda, we've got bargaining that's taking place. So as we go ahead and continue on, please make sure that you reach out to us. Reach out to leonteachers.org, which is our website. There's a list of contacts of folks on the board, and we just want to hear from you and want to be able to support you. So as we go on, we're going to share a couple of things about Freaky Fridays. Shreya and I are going to be in classrooms on Fridays supporting. Don't have all the answers, but miss the classroom and would love to visit and learn about how your day looks and what it is that you're doing day to day, so that we can better support you, but also to kind of work with your students and learn ourselves. So looking forward to it. Have a great year, and please let us know how we can help you. So as a bargaining update, we want to go over a couple of things that had come out in this last piece. Timer's ready, dinner's going, so it's going to have to be quick. Number one, first thing that Leon Classroom Teachers Association passed as far as this past bargaining session was annual contract language stability. Dog wants to get it. Hold a second. So the idea behind the stability, the language for stability here, is to say that if a teacher, very similar to the past, had highly effective or effective for 3 years in a row in Leon County, that they would be able to, they would just be automatically asked back. The reappointment process would be kind of predetermined. There is some hesitation at the district level. A lot of folks think, or the other side had mentioned that, well, there's a teacher shortage, so we don't need this kind of language because there's going to be positions and these people will be able to find them. So it leads LCTA to wonder that, We don't need the language because there's a teacher shortage, but we would need the language if there wasn't a teacher shortage. It's just trying to understand the rationale behind it, because what we're trying to do is stabilize our schools, stabilize our classrooms, and make sure that we have, retain and recruit the best teachers that there are possible. So if there are other districts that have adopted this language, what's the hesitation in Leon County? The second piece of language that we passed across deals with progressive discipline. We wanted to make sure that there was clearly defined progressive discipline. There's a lot of memos that are coming out, and there's like 3 files to every person. There's the district file, then there's the school file, and then there's the unschool file that has some other things that could then eventually be used to file. And so in terms of discipline and progressive discipline, it's hard for us to advise when we don't know where that is, and all the school sites are a little bit different. So we like to try to codify what that looks like when that does become an issue. Clearly defined steps. You should know what's coming up. It's just about transparency at that point. But there was a little bit of hesitation as well, but being taken into consideration, we appreciate that on both those pieces of language. Third piece of language was about coverage of teachers in classrooms. The coverage of teachers in classrooms talks about compensating teachers that have to cover. Now you're supposed to receive comp time, which everyone should have a comp time plan, which is supposed to be shared with the entire staff in the beginning of the school year, just like everybody at the school is supposed to have an opportunity to apply for supplements. So that should be also a process that's taking place right now, or last week. But shall receive $20 or per day, or $10 for 1/2 day of coverage, but trying to get people some money in terms of the coverage of having to be pulled and losing planning time, so that you can then be compensated for planning time at a later time. Those are the 3 things that we've passed so far, but they're not the only things that we have. So if you're interested in being part of what LCTA is doing during bargaining, please join us on Thursday, August 29th at 5 p.m. at 2655 Capitol Circle Northeast. We'll have an internal bargaining meeting to discuss the language that we passed, the future language we'd like to present, and to kind of go over some of the proposals that Leon County Schools passed. Quick summary of Leon County Schools passed language is number 1, they have a break-in service. They would like to consider it that there's no break-in service if you are rehired by November. Now, what a break-in service does means that you don't, in their mind, you don't have to be a probationary teacher again, but it also doesn't afford you the ability to move up to the placement level that accurately reflects your years of service. So that could be a hindrance for a lot of folks. So for example, if you were non-repointed at end of last year, and you have the opportunity to be replaced right now, that means that you've signed a new contract. You should have the opportunity to make more money at that placement level. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, because that gets into leapfrog language, and I know that's something that's very important to a lot of you. Then the other issue was that the district is trying to move away from 10 benefit pay cycles, it looks like, because some of the things that they asked is that dues deductions would not come out of 10 months, which we're assuming means that it would come out of 12, but it didn't say that. There's been a push, as last year, to push away from 10 pay periods, 10 months, to 12 pay periods, universal. I think there was about 130 people last year that were on 10, so they wanted to make it uniform. And now there seems to be a push to do all benefit deductions out of 12. And so that would mean some changes, but we want to make sure that you're a part of that conversation if it's truly what's happening. It wasn't presented that all benefits would come out of 12 months yet, but we assume that it's going to be coming. The other issue is that one of the contract things that passed was years of experience for our Lively Tech teachers, that they would receive full years of experience in terms of coming into the school system. So if you're a welder and you had 14 years of service, you would come in with 14 as you teach welding. So we believe that that's a positive thing for our folks over at Lively Technical College, and look forward to kind of seeing where that all goes in the total package that we try to bargain for and negotiate this year. There have been a couple of calls about folks that would like some information about our process, meaning that last year there's some things that we went through in language, but we want to make sure we've been very transparent. We send out all the language to everybody. We make sure that everyone has an opportunity to look at the language. We come out to schools as needed, and our building reps know about it. And then there's a ratification vote, which everyone gets an opportunity to be a part of. So if there's something that has been ratified or a part of the bargaining process that you have questions about, again, August 29th, come out, join us, and we look forward to seeing you.